On the lonely road between Jerusalem and Jericho, a man walked, slow steps, heavy breathing. The sun burned the ground beneath him, and the dry air shimmered with trembling mirages. The road was known for danger, yet he continued, maybe out of courage, maybe necessity, maybe because life sometimes puts us on paths we didn't choose but must still cross. But on that road, the shadows were watching, a distant sound, a stone shifting, a whisper hidden behind the rocks. And then, they appeared, bandits, fast, ruthless, hungry for anything they could take. The traveler didn't even have time to scream. They surrounded him, dragged him down, and beat him without mercy. His possessions were ripped away, his dignity crushed into the dirt. And when the final blow landed, they vanished into the wilderness, leaving only dust, blood, and silence. The man lay there, still, fighting to keep his eyes open as life slowly slipped away. The road, indifferent, stretched out before him, until footsteps echoed in the distance. Firm footsteps. Important footsteps. A priest appeared on the path. His robes flowed with the desert wind. The injured man tried to call out, but only a faint groan escaped. The priest saw the body. He saw the bleeding. He saw the suffering. But he also saw something else. Risk, fear, inconvenience. Maybe he told himself it wasn't safe to stop. Maybe he thought it wasn't his place. Maybe he just didn't want to get involved, and he passed by. On the far side, without looking back, the little hope the wounded man still held flickered, and nearly went out. Time passed. Then another traveler approached. A Levite, someone trained in the law, someone respected for religious duty. He, too, saw the broken man. He paused, looked, considered, but only for a moment that never became compassion, and he moved on, leaving the man in the dust. The traveler closed his eyes. Maybe this was how his story would end, but God often writes chapters the world does not expect, because then, a third traveler came down the road. His clothing, his posture, his presence revealed who he was. A Samaritan, a foreigner, a people despised by the Jews. If anyone had a reason to walk right past, it was him. But something happens when a heart is larger than the boundaries that divide people. The Samaritan saw the injured man, and the world around him seemed to slow. He didn't see danger. He didn't see ethnicity. He didn't see trouble. He saw a human being, and compassion rose in him like a flame. He ran, knelt beside the man, touched his face with the gentleness of someone handling something sacred, cleaned the blood, poured oil on the wounds to ease the pain, and wine to prevent infection, tore strips of cloth from his own garments to use as bandages. And as he worked, he spoke softly, trying to keep the man awake, trying to keep that fragile spark inside him from fading. Then he lifted him with effort, sweat, and commitment, and placed him on his own donkey. He walked while the wounded man rode, step by step, slow, steady, unwavering. When they finally reached an inn, he could have left him there, could have handed the problem to someone else. But true love does not look for shortcuts. He stayed, cared for him through the night, cleaned the wounds, changed the bandages, gave water, gave food, gave presents, and in the morning, he placed coins in the innkeeper's hands, and said, "Take care of him, and whatever more you spend, when I return, I will repay you." It was generosity. It was honor. It was love that crossed borders and broke barriers. Later, when Jesus finished telling this story, he looked into the eyes of those listening, and asked a question that cut through the silence. Which of these three do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell among thieves? The answer came softly, but with undeniable truth. The one who showed mercy. And Jesus said, "Go, and do likewise." His words echo through the centuries like a voice carved into eternity, because all of us walk dangerous roads. All of us encounter people broken along the way, and sometimes, we are the ones lying on the ground, waiting for someone who will not turn away. This parable reminds us that a neighbor is not defined by religion, race, background, or title, but by willingness. The willingness to love, to feel, to act, to stop when no one else stops. Because when we choose compassion, when we extend a hand, when we dare to touch someone else's pain, we step into the story Jesus told, and his voice continues to whisper across time, soft, steady, eternal, go, and do likewise.